Wow, I really love these particle effects. It feels so good to have this nice little park in our village now. We've had so many buildings in here that I feel like it feels nice just to have a little place to come relax, whether it's in our pavilion here or in our park with all the particles. Wow, I think that really helps this area out. So I'm loving that we added this area, and I don't know why. Do you ever get in a mood where you just want to keep building? We've been building so many different spots, and I can't stay away from it. If you look, yep, there's my, normal dirt pillars that I do. I don't know why I love doing dirt pillars so much, but this one I've really been trying to think up of a new concept. So the idea of like, do we have a door here? Maybe the building's about that tall. I don't know. I do this way too much probably with my dirt pillars, but it really helps me think. So if you ever need to like start trying to plan something out, see if it's going to be big enough or the right size, I really recommend doing this. So it might look a little weird, but I also have kind of started picking out colors. Now, if you watched last season, you'll know that I did a lot with the browns, but I haven't done so much here with just straight browns. Like there are obviously browns because most of Minecraft is brown, but I've always put a color on them in some fashion. Well, today I want to kind of do a little bit darker building, I think, that is going to kind of offset how bright this one is. Now, I've really loved the sight lines of that being on the hill, but sometimes it's maybe a little too bright and a little too big. So I figure if we're down here in the park, and maybe this is a bad angle, and we have some kind of a building here, it'll give us a little bit better atmosphere. So we have plans, or I have plans today that we're going to put in a library. That's right, this area has our farming, ways to get in here transportation wise, a trading hall. I guess that's more farming back there. We've got industrial. Well, these people need to get educated somewhere, and that's what we're going to do today. So really with this building, what I want to try and do is get away maybe from a little from the medieval style and start blending in some of this more modern area that we have here, seeing if we can get it to fit in the landscape, because I really want this village, even though it's got kind of a blend, to really start blending it out a little bit more. So this one might be a little bit more modern. I have a concept for one back there that's maybe a little more medieval. So that way we can have a nice progression and really make this feel like what a village would feel like, that people built different types of buildings as they lived in the city, and I guess on their own preferences, just like what we have across the river with our spawn village. All the different types blended together, but still feels like a village. So to get started, I'm really going to start probably with our dark oak here. Now, do I have any on me? Oh, good, I do. So what I want to do is kind of start figuring out these pillars. Maybe we'll do like this facade, because I feel like this other facade, at least what's in my brain, is just an extension of what's on this side. This is going to be a very symmetrical building. So my idea is if I can get at least a concept on one side, then we can figure out how we just repeat that around, and we'll have our whole library started. So let's get this one side in and see how it looks. Oh, and thanks for whoever just slept. So what I'm going to do is start by using kind of our framing block, which is going to be these dark oak. So I'm going to come up, I don't know, what was that, 6 maybe? So let's start there. Let's dig this out. Let's get that out. Okay, and as you can see, I put the dirt in here so I know what my ground floor is. It's going to be the same as back there, a little higher here in the front. So let's try going up 6 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I've got some chiseled bookshelves. I really love these chiseled bookshelves. If we put this in and come look down here, I love this texture. It's going to give us a little bit of detail without having to go too crazy. So the idea that I want to do here is maybe like that is kind of this corner. We go up 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to do another chiseled bookshelf. Did we get it in right? Yep. Okay. And then same thing over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and kind of that chiseled. Now we're going to come through and just strip this out. And what I love about this is it's starting to really kind of give us this detail of almost like a column. And I really like that. I like when it's not just a plain wood, but there's some kind of detail. And this is the coolest detail. I don't know how much I use chiseled bookshelves other than for this detail. Great. Now what I'm trying to figure out here is I don't know that I want the corners to get too bulky. So the reason I had this one out here is so that I could come out and I think put an extra wall. So the idea is that the entranceway is going to be a little more bulky here, and then this will sit back. Now I do think I want, and let's see how this is going to look. Kind of that detail, yep, going across the top. And I have an idea. I don't think I have any moss on me. So the idea is that I kind of want to have a window box in here. I guess that's the right word. And then inside of here, actually have it double thick. So we're going to come up a few extra here. And what this is going to do is allow us to have a little bit deeper windows. So let's do that and this. Great, that gets us our top. So as you can see, this waste maybe a little, but it's really going to give us kind of that good detail that I'm looking for. So let's do this. Let's come back through here. Yep. Okay, so that's going to be the detail I want. And then this will probably be some kind of stripped log as well. Perfect. Yeah, so it's going to give us these nice, deep, kind of moody windows, which is what I'm trying to do because I feel like a lot of our other windows are kind of just the smaller, thin ones like that. I want to have a little bulkier one, like they've spent a little extra money here on the library. So I think that's given us the front we want. Now I'm just going to duplicate that over here. Maybe I'll find the moss, and then I'll show you some of the details that I want to do here as well. All right, a little work off camera, and I think we're getting somewhere. Now the idea here is that this is our entrance. It's a little grand of an entrance, but that's okay. I think it's going to be all right. Now I've kind of put these details up on the top. I'm not quite sure how I'm liking it. I think maybe the roof will help us know. But what I've been getting in is kind of this detail around the windows. So the reason I did these windows is so that we could come in, and it looks like I'm going to need to make some more trap doors. But the idea is they kind of have this, I don't know, almost a shuttered look to it. Now, if I go get some glass, let's get out our rockets here real quick and fly over to the storage. I know, probably shouldn't have flown, but I don't have my glass with me. But let's see, do I have some black? Oh, perfect, I do. Let's get those into the spots I need. And then fly back over here real quick. So the idea with these type of windows is you can really start putting some nice depth to them. So we're going to do that. Come in here. We'll do the other side. Oh, I don't have enough, so I'll just detail out a little bit just so we can see how it's going. Now, I really love this. If you've never used this technique before, it really kind of gives your windows some depth when you use full ones and pane ones. So if we jump back out here, yeah, you can see, let me break that down for a second. You can see that this gives it a little bit more ornate of a feel. Instead of it just being a little bit, where do I have an example? Like these just look like small normal windows. This feels a little more grand, and that's really what I want from this building, is for it to feel a lot more rich, a lot more like they spent a lot of money building this thing. So I think that's gonna be perfect. I'm really loving now that I'm looking at it, kind of where it blocks off, that you get this thing in the foreground. You can still see the trading hall. And then as you come around the corner, yep, there it is. Perfect. Now I just should probably check one more thing before I get too excited, is what does it look like from this angle? Oh, this might be exactly what I was hoping for, is that it's kind of hidden. Yep, and you can see like the roof's only going to be maybe a block or two above. So maybe you get little glimpses, but for the most part it's hidden until you come right around the corner. All right, perfect. All right, we set that up just about right. I think it's in the right location. And this thing, if I just duplicate kind of these modules all the way around, gets us to a pretty good spot over here. Now, I would love to have a little more area here, but I feel like this is okay because I don't know that we're going to be traveling to this storage room, which, yeah, we haven't done anything with it yet, but I think that's going to be okay. Maybe if we do like another building that gives us some room, like maybe there'll be a little bit of a courtyard, maybe the house is over here. I don't know, we'll figure that out. That's not today's project. This is today's project. So I'm going to kind of duplicate what we have here onto this side and see if it looks good from two different sides. And then I just remembered I haven't figured out the roof. Maybe we'll figure out the roof on this side first, then we'll duplicate it once we know it looks good. Okay, and that roof reveal, yeah, I think it's getting there. Now I had to put a little moss down here in the front. I'm not quite sure what we're going to do with the landscaping just yet, but it was kind of throwing me off seeing the dirt underneath it. But as we look at it, yeah, I like that. At first I had the roof line kind of just going straight across, but I really think since this bumps out, that needed to bump out. That's really going to give us kind of that nice reveal line that we like. So yeah, I think this is it. I think this will look really good. That's going to be a little repetitive. So what we're probably going to do with the landscape is just make sure we put in some little trees, some other things to take the asymmetry. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but try and break that up a little. So maybe there's a little taller tree here, maybe a really big one there. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. But I want to break up some of that symmetry with some asymmetrical landscaping. So now it's just really going to be grinding this out. I'm going to grind out the whole other side over there. We're just going to really copy this. So if we have another door or another window area, it's just going to be that easy. So time to put that in, and then we'll see how it's looking. Okay, and after some grinding it out, we got that other side in. Yep, I think it's looking pretty good. Now we still got some glass that we need to get in, but that's okay. I think this is looking exactly like what I was hoping for. Looking at some of the sight lines, I think it really fills up the area perfect. So I'm going to get grinding some more because we still got two whole other walls to get in. So let me get that done. Okay, and I think I've got now all of the exterior walls done, and I think it's looking pretty good. As you can see, I've been trying to figure out kind of a, I don't know, main walkway. Because what my idea is that we're going to have some kind of like book checkout area here, and the rest will be the actual library. So I think that floor's going to work. Got to figure out what we're doing over on the other side. Now the idea is I think I want to make it look almost like a carpet without using wool. So not quite sure what we're going to do there, but the idea is that we'll have books kind of along this wall, maybe some books here, and then maybe some kind of a sitting area there. Yeah, I'm going to have to break out the dirt. We're going to have to think about that one. But I think I want to get the roof on. Let's get the floor on, and then we can figure out the interior design. It always feels so good to get the roof on, to get the floor in, and start getting some of the landscaping going. And now that we've got that done, we can really start going in and kind of putting some of the grasses, final details. Now I do this kind of pretty random. Stepping back, seeing where the sight lines maybe look good, look bad. Maybe there needs to be some up top. I don't know. But this is really kind of just the process I go with until it starts looking pretty good. Now, I still can do more out there. We'll figure this out because I got to wrap it around. Still got this corner to do. But the inside, oh man, guys, I am not sure what to do with this. I thought I had a good plan. And the plan was kind of, let's see, what do I want? I don't know, maybe, do I want two back here? Yeah, that's probably good. And then like some kind of a desk here. I think that's kind of what I want to do. And then, yeah, as I'm looking at that, then I'm thinking, all right, if that's there, I kind of like having a two-way to walk around. I know it only makes one over here. But like, do we put some kind of books? I don't know, do they stop here so it lines up with that? If we're going to do that same thing over here, maybe we do this. Y'all are getting to see exactly what I go through in this process. And then if we have a two walkway there, what can we fit in here? A small one. Not sure if I like that as much or if it makes more sense for like this to grow and that to kind of disappear and that disappear. Oh, that might make more sense. It's because it's almost the same. And then if we're going to do that, I think we probably almost do the exact same thing over here. Let's put that back so we don't spawn in here. Oh, I think I'm liking that. And then I'm thinking maybe some kind of a table. So maybe there's like 2 chairs on either side. I think those are going to have to come back. Oh boy. You guys have ever seen me build with dirt? This is exactly the process I go through. Is really just trying to lay things out. Now, I don't know if these should be chairs or if we should make it just a sitting area. Oh, and I don't have those centered either. That's okay. We can get that fixed pretty simple. But that is kind of the base layout that I think I'm going to go with. But I have no ideas what to do here. So I'm going to need some of your help. Leave down in the comments ideas that you have. I'm thinking these are a little bit taller bookshelves. That's a sitting area. And I also have an idea that maybe we would store some books in here like that we'd actually put on our tools. So like our Silk Touch, Protection 4, I don't know, Sharpness 5. Let me know if you have ideas down in the comments. I don't need a lot because of where we're at in the season, but I think this would be a fun little library. If you could come in, pick the book you need. Maybe there's a secret anvil. I don't know. Is it back here where you're checking out the books? Oh, that's kind of a cool idea. Maybe instead of like a scanner to check out the book, there's an anvil and you come over and that's how you check it out, is put it onto some kind of tool. Oh, I'm liking that. I think that's going to be pretty good. So what I'm going to do now, oh, it's raining, is I'm just going to go ahead and decorate out this last portion of it. Make sure it's looking pretty good. I think at this point, it's really starting to blend in. There's some little pockets that we're going to have to figure out decoration-wise, like over here. But I think in general, now I got to show you some of these sight lines. Just as we kind of wrap up here, is what I'm loving is this sight line, even though it's a big building, we're not really having it being ruined at all because this hill kind of protects it and you don't really see it, even with that tree, until you really get out here. And I think that's kind of the perfect reveal for it. And then even some of the other directions, like out here where we've got a little bit smaller buildings, it's still not much of a problem because if we come up this way, you can't even see it because of that tree, really until you get up here and around that corner. But y'all, that is going to do it for this episode. I think this area is turning out really nice. Now we definitely got to get an interior in there because it's looking a little sparse. And I think that's kind of the story with a lot of our cities. We've got a lot of interiors that we can do, a lot of decorating. So watch for that in the coming weeks. We're going to start decorating out a lot in this area. We need to start looking good before we wrap up the season. So until that next episode, we'll talk to you soon.